What's wrong with the Lightning? This is part 2 of What's Wrong with the Lightning, where we explore suspicions about why the Lightning don't quite look like Stanley Cup contenders right now. Are players not getting along? Find out on this episode of Distant Lightning. Hey everyone. So the Lightning are in 6 out of 8 teams in the Atlantic Division. They're only ahead of the Red Wings and the Senators. They still have 12 games played, 14 points, 6 wins, 6 losses, whoop-de-doo. So I'm trying to explore and figure out what's going on with these Lightning guys and what might be happening to explain kind of their lackluster performance, and they look rather chaotic out there. They really don't look like a team that got humiliated in the playoffs and is coming back to prove themselves that they're worthy of the Stanley Cup. They've got 6 wins, 6 losses in 12 games. They're a former President's Trophy team. They really just don't look like a cohesive squad on the ice. Recently, Alexander Ovechkin of the Capitals, he got quoted for commenting on the Maple Leafs team, which frankly I think could easily apply to the Lightning as well. Here's what he said. "I hope they're going to learn." Ovechkin said of the Leafs, or the Lightning, of their inconsistent play. But it's up to them how they want to do it. If they want to play for themselves or they want to win a Stanley Cup, they have to play differently. All right, sound familiar? Earlier in October, after a loss to Carolina, Steven Stamkos was quoted also criticizing his team. Steven Stamkos offers stern message for Lightning after a poor start. "We have to change," Stamkos said. They were totally outclassed as they try to continue being that, quote, "freewheeling team that thinks we can come into games and win because we're skilled," end quote. On October 29th, a couple days ago, after losing to the Rangers, Raw Charge had a headline that read, "Lightning suffers insults and injuries in 4-1 loss to lowly Rangers. Another stinker." After the Devils game, Raw Charge had a different headline, but, similar. "Lightning do almost everything wrong. Win anyway, 7-6 over the Devils. Lightning and Devils forgo defense in the interest of chaos." Pretty accurate, I think. So it made me think, in my exploration to figure out what's wrong with these Lightning, I want to start by looking at Kucherov. Because a couple of years back, in 2017, Kucherov got quoted in a Russian press interview, and Raw Charge attempted to translate what was said, and it went like this. At first, this is Kucherov speaking. "At first it was hard because only just a line was created. I, Nemestikov, Stamkos. We were put together for 10 matches, and just in the ninth, Steven was injured. But we played very well. Established interaction," meaning he gelled with the guys. "I can say that these were my top 9 games for all 4 years in the NHL. I was very upset. Then the coaches began to change the composition to transfer me from line to line. Partners were like in a kaleidoscope." Cooper's line blender. "And it's very hard to get used to because the guys do not play at the level of Stamkos." I'm sure his teammates loved hearing that, by the way. Continuing, "Steven, I, and Nemestikov were on the same wave. We thought alike. There was no need to explain something to each other about who was going to be on the site." Basically, I interpret that to mean his no-look passes, eyes behind the head, he was connecting to the tape of another player because they predicted where the play was going to go to make the scoring chance. Continuing, "I've been tormented all season. Stamkos broke down, he got hurt, and I could not find partners with whom there would be perfect mutual understanding. We played with Jonathan Drouin once, and it was good, but the coach didn't put us together for some reason. Turnovers. And there were other guys who just sat on the team. Uh-oh. They got their money and stopped working. They did not play so well this year. This is evident from both statistics and movement. When I went out with them and gave them a pass, they did not even expect it. That's why I had a hard season despite the statistics. So anyway, Kuch is certainly winning love with his teammates from that interview a couple years back. Speaking of which, looking at time gone by, remember that triplets line that had Johnson, Palat, and Kucherov on it? Remember that Christmas sweater picture? Are they still great pals? Well, a contributor to Distant Lightning, the Panama City Kid, he took a look into some players' Instagram profiles, and it seems Tyler Johnson is the leader of a clique of players that includes Cirelli, Palat, Shattenkirk, and Braden Coburn. But interestingly enough, who's missing from this group? Their former line mate, Nikita Kucherov. Are the Russian players, this makes me ask, are the Russian players not mixing well with the rest of the team? Seems like on Twitter or Insta, Kuch is pretty much always hanging out with his Russian pals, almost exclusively. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But here's a couple pictures. You can see him hanging out with his Russian pals in New York. He's sitting at a press table doing interviews. Again, he's got his buddy Nemestikov there, which we heard he really missed. Vasi's there. So maybe that's something that's going on. Okay, guys. So coming up in an upcoming episode, next episode, we're going to continue exploring what's wrong with the Lightning by asking some more questions. Are the wives and girlfriends not getting along? Is Cooper's cool, calm, collected temperament to blame? Find out next time on Distant Lightning.